David Harrison is a perfect example of levelling up. David grew up in a typical County Durham mining community and has gone on to become one of Britain's leading entrepreneurs and social mobility philanthropists. He has made it his mission to ensure people of today had more opportunities than what was available to him at the time.
This street here is the street I grew up in. Played football here. Big difference, I think, as you look around, there weren't any cars in the streets then. It was talking 1950s, so I was here till 1962, so no cars or anything of that nature. There were horses and carts actually to deliver green grocery and things like that. I mean, there was plenty of jobs in the 50s and 60s, and then there were no jobs. So you either worked down the pit or you worked at steelworks or anything associated with that. And of course, all of that is gone, so it's really difficult to know what people do. This is a challenge for any government. The challenge for social mobility is just this. These days, not as easy, I think, to have a path or a clearly defined path.
David now employs hundreds of people directly through a number of businesses he has set up, and thousands more indirectly across the UK. In 2017, he founded the Harrison Centre for Social Mobility, working with charities and organisations across the UK, providing opportunities and employability skills to thousands of people in disadvantaged backgrounds.
Like any game of chance, the more chances you give yourself and others, the better. I've had second chances, third chances, fourth chances. I think you have to give people a chance. But as an economy, the more chances you give to more people, the more you're going to get some people popping up and going forward. The more businesses we can bring, the more businesses will spring off.
The approach David took with the Harrison Centre was radically different to many in the charity sector, in that they were and still are constantly in search of new and better ways to solve entrenched problems within social mobility. Going into 2018, he teamed up with Right Honourable Justine Greening to set up the Social Mobility Pledge, which now has over 600 businesses and organisations pledging to tackle social mobility. The structure that David and the Social Mobility Pledge created now helps employ over 5 million people and connects over 2 million students to opportunities for future employment. Now in 2022, what's next? David has pledged a multi-million-pound investment to create a new Harrison Centre in Antigua and Barbuda. The key aim to offer new skills that are in demand, such as automotive studies, welding, carpentry, joinery and much more. The centre will help to ensure that young people have access to fair opportunity and ultimately employment, so that social mobility can thrive across the country. The new centre will run mainly on renewable energy and have facilities such as basketball and volleyball courts, making this not just a space for learning, but a space for connectivity, where people share experiences and knowledge. Speaking of connectivity, David has led the way in setting up the first international sister campaign of the UK Social Mobility Pledge, called the Caribbean Youth Pledge. As part of the outreach, the pledge will encourage businesses to engage with the Harrison Centre, so that as well as acquiring skills, students are also connected with job opportunities throughout their studies. Through the Caribbean Youth Pledge, Antigua and the wider Caribbean will be leading the way internationally on how they can boost opportunity and widen social mobility.